Welcome to Politics. I'm Amori. Welcome to Politics. This is my daily live stream on Facebook about the issues that Angelenos are facing and how we can solve them with love. I am Amori. I am mayoral candidate for the Love Party under the Vote for Love campaign. And I'm here today to talk to you. We have today on Politics Open for Love Fridays. Open for Love Fridays means that you can write in, call in, text in, and tell me about the things that you want to see and talk about and the changes you want to see happening in LA. How do you vote for love? So what does that mean? What is the concept to vote for love? Well, the idea here is that you, as a citizen of Los Angeles, get to determine by getting active, getting involved, showing Los Angeles how you love LA, you get to become a part of the solution. With voting for love, you're voting with your heart. And it's not just actual process of voting. It's also in the way that you interact with, hello Gregory, it is the way that you interact on a daily basis with the other citizens of Los Angeles, with the things that you would like to see change, the things you love about LA. I want to know how you are going to help be a part of the solution. So, today, again, it's Open for Love Friday. If you have anything you'd like to talk about, please let me know. Until then, I'm going to get started by talking about the housing shortage and the rising cost of living in Los Angeles. So these things are very much tied together. We find that the less housing we have, and we definitely have a housing shortage in Los Angeles, the less housing we have, the harder it is for people to find affordable housing. It's a supply and demand. So what you find in Los Angeles, that LA is generally ranked the 7th most expensive city in the US, number 7. So it's not considered a widely affordable place to live. And what we've seen is that in the last 5 years, prices in LA on homes have gone up almost 80%. And that's in 5 years. So the average rent on a one-bedroom apartment in LA is about $1,950, about almost $2,000 per month, which is twice what people are paying for in most of the US, twice the national average. So if you need a two-bedroom place in LA, you're going to pay about almost $3,000, about $2,800, which is hugely more than the national average, which is about $1,100. It's about $1,200. So it's a lot more in LA. That's more than double what it costs. It's 137% higher. So that is a huge discrepancy, and that means that many people in Los Angeles can't afford to live here. Now, last year, Mayor Garcetti took a step forward by raising the minimum wage to $15 by 2020. So essentially what this means is there is a step-by-step program that for the next several years, incrementally, the minimum wage will be raising up. Until by 2020, we are at $15 an hour. Now, this is wonderful and obviously very much needed because there's many people in Los Angeles that can't afford, they don't have livable wages. But the problem with this is that even $15 an hour is still not enough for most people. So you end up, and with the cost of living rising, we end up in a position where you still have so many people who cannot afford to live in Los Angeles. And if they're making $15 an hour and working, $40 a week, which is not particularly usual for a minimum wage worker. Usually they work less than that. But if they're doing that and they're not taking many days off during the course of the year, they're making about $31,000 a year. That said, there was a study that was recently released that found that a single person living in Los Angeles has to make about $35,000 a year to just live in a somewhat decent setup. which means that already at the $15 an hour, you have these people who are no longer able to afford to live in Los Angeles. And then if you have a household with one parent and a child, you need about $60,000 a year to have an affordable cost of living. So it goes up from there. So as you can see, we're in a position where we don't have enough housing, and people are not making enough money to live in this city. And that's, just housing alone, right? And forgetting all of the other costs of living. So let's talk about how you can solve problems like this. I will tell you right off the bat that I am offering ideas and some ideas about problems that we're facing. The Vote for Love campaign is asking that everyone in LA, all that Angelenos, start to help formulate ideas, that you become part of the conversation, which means, though I am going to tell you about ideas and things things that I'm researching and discovering and possible solutions for these problems that we're facing that can be solved with love, I am not going to tell you that these are the only solutions, because there are many solutions, and it's up to all of us to come together to help solve these problems. My goal here is to get you involved and to ask you to vote for love by helping to be a part of the solution, not a part of the problem. So that said, let me tell you about something I've discovered that I think is a very interesting possible solution, and something that we need to be investing in terms of infrastructure and in terms of looking into this for the future. So I'm a big fan of new technologies and disruptive technologies that make us challenge the status quo, make us challenge the way that things are being done and have been done historically. I'm bringing that into politics by creating a love campaign, a love platform. The Vote for Love platform is all about saying, hey, listen, what's happening in politics is not working for us. This is very clear as we've been looking at the presidential election cycle. All of the anger and the hatred is getting us nowhere. So we need a change, and love is the most powerful tool at our disposal to create this change. I think the same can be said for technologies that allow us to shake up the system and allow us to rethink how we've been doing things for a very long time, because many of these things are not working for us and they're no longer serving us. And we need to ensure that with the technologies that we are creating, we can utilize these to help solve these problems. Otherwise, what is it for? So that said, I want to talk a little bit about 3D printing. 3D printing is not just what you think. It's not just making little bobs and bits out of plastic that you put on your desk. That's just the beginning. Soon we're going to be 3D printing everything from body parts to food. And for the purposes of this conversation, I want to talk about 3D printing of housing. This is a phenomenal technology. We haven't seen too much of it yet in the United States, but in other parts of the world, this is something that is becoming somewhat commonplace. Particularly in China, we have companies that are printing entire houses. You can print an entire house in 24 hours. It's phenomenal technology. And now I know you're thinking, okay, that's wonderful, but we live in earthquake country. You can't make a house that is going to be, that you 3D print that's going to be stable. But I'm going to tell you something. The reality is these houses and these structures that are being 3D printed are actually far superior in an earthquake than our normal houses. This has to do with the way that these houses and buildings are printed and the materials that are used. So they're much more unified in the way that they're assembled. And so this is a very viable option for Los Angeles. Not only do these 3D printers use cheap materials, sometimes recycled construction waste, or sometimes even clay and plants, and it's a much more innovative and less material intensive design. So these are things that can be made that is very sustainable. So right off the bat, you've got something that is earthquake proof, not proof, but we're seeing like the Chinese houses boast that they can withstand up to an 8-point earthquake. So that's pretty good. And we're seeing things that are earthquake sustainable. We're seeing that they are utilizing materials that are recyclable. And of course, the speed and efficiency with which they are built far, far exceeds anything that we can do with just manual labor. So if we turn our attention to this idea and we think about how do we make this work in Los Angeles, in a city, in the US, in a city like Los Angeles, I think there are many opportunities to take this type of technology and make Los Angeles the pioneering city in which we give this a shot. Now, look, there are many hurdles here, and this is a systemic problem. One solution will not solve it, and I'm not naive enough to tell you that I have a perfect solution here. I'm, again, offering you ideas about things that we can do and new ways of looking at things that will allow us to change the paradigm. And that's what we're talking about here. So this is one option, 3D printing. But I think if we can set up Los Angeles, the second biggest city in the US, as a daring, pioneering city that is willing to take chances, that is willing to try new things, and do so because we care and we truly care about our citizens and about the quality of life, then we can be a shining beacon to the rest of the world. What other city has more attention, has more eyes than Los Angeles? So this is really the thinking that I'm getting behind here is, let's get people excited about new ideas. Let's get people thinking about how they can vote for love, whether it's by coming up with ideas, whether it's by posing new questions, whether it's by joining together to try and create solutions to problems that we all face, being the voice for these solutions. That's what I'm looking for here. So I will ask you this. As this podcast, as this live stream grows, as I get better and better at doing this live stream, I hope, I ask that you support this, that you tell your friends that we are creating a forum for people to come and share their ideas. Because again, I want all of Los Angeles to weigh in on these ideas. I want all of LA to come and have this conversation with me. This is an open forum. I would love to hear from you about the various ideas you have for how to make LA great, how to vote for love in Los Angeles. This is what I'm going to be exploring. And if you want to be a part of our campaign, you can go to voteforlove.com and sign up. We have a place on the website where you can send your email in, and we'll get in touch with you about how you can be a part of the solution by voting for love. So if I have anybody out there in this world who wants to have a conversation right now with me, please let me know right now if you have any ideas that you want to discuss. We have a few people on. If you have any ideas you want to talk about for the rest of this, please let me know. I'm going to be here for a few more minutes, but again, let me tell you a little bit about what the plan for these live streaming broadcasts are. Every day of the week, except for the weekend, Monday through Friday, I will be on here and I will be speaking to you about the issues that I believe Angelenos care about the most and how love can solve these issues. So we're going to be talking about all types of things. On Monday, we're going to be talking about solutions to education. On Tuesday, we're going to be talking about the homeless and how we can put an end to homelessness. And on Wednesday, we are going to be talking about how we in Los Angeles can help keep the film industry in Los Angeles. This is an important one. I know many of you realize that we are losing the film industry to tax incentives all over the place. So we need to figure out how we as a city can keep the industry that made us a great city. So that's going to be on Wednesdays. On Thursdays, we're going to be talking about everyone's favorite subject, traffic. What do we do about traffic? It's a big issue in Los Angeles. I talked about it yesterday. In fact, I heard a terrible story last night about some people in downtown Los Angeles who were run over by people speeding through the streets of LA, and we have to be better than this. So Thursdays will be about traffic, and Fridays is an open forum for whatever you want to talk about. If I don't hear from you, then I will pick a subject close to my heart. But that's the format. We'll also be talking about crime, how we can help to solve the rising and escalating crime situation in Los Angeles. And then again today was a discussion about the rising cost of living in Los Angeles and the housing shortage, and how we can come together and use disruptive technologies and a loving framework to come up with some new ideas for how to solve these problems. So that's what I'm calling politics. I'm Amori. I am a mayoral candidate for the City of Los Angeles mayoral election in 2017. I am running under the Love Party and the Vote for Love campaign. This is again a grassroots effort in which we are trying to get the City of LA to show up and vote with their hearts and their actions. And so I think that's going to wrap me up for today, unless there's anything anyone has to say. As I said before, you can check us out at voteforlove.com. Go to voteforlove.com. We'll be uploading all kinds of new content to the website as we move forward in these next months leading up to the election. And you can keep track of everything we're doing. We are also, of course, on Facebook. You're seeing this broadcast on our Facebook page. I hope you'll like us and follow us. And then, of course, very important, on November 11th, I will be announcing my candidacy on the steps of City Hall. And I hope that all of you will come out and show your support and show LA that you vote for love. So thank you for tuning in. Remember, this is Politics. I'm Amori. Voteforlove.com. I hope to see you all here on Monday at 11 a.m. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to talking with you more. I love you, LA. Vote for love.